on this one because we do have two barristers with us in the house. So we like clarity on some of these things. Now, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has plunged deeper into crisis with rival factions trading accusations of sabotage and hijack. Senator Namdi Ume, the leader in the David Mark led faction, accused the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, of deliberately undermining a valid court order, insisting that attempts to sideline his group will not stand. Now, in what some have called a twist, Nephew Gombe-led faction staged a counter-protest at the INEC headquarters, alleging that Mark's camp is plotting to seize control of the party's machinery. Meanwhile, ADC's founding chairman, Raf Nwosu, has dismissed claims of division, branding Gombe's faction APC-backed propaganda, even as former Senator Kabiru Marafa has defected from the APC to the ADC, which some have said is intensifying speculation about the party's future role in opposition politics. Now, it gets even more interesting. We have a PDP stalwart and ex-minister Ibrahim Turaki meeting with David Mark's faction, urging opposition parties to unite in defense of democracy with protests, counter-protests, and accusations of external influence now dominating headlines. The ADC seems to be struggling and is looking for probably, how to resolve its issues. But the problem with the ADC, barrister Eze Eluche now, is not just about two factions. Now, there are three factions. There are three factions. There's the Dumebi Kachuku faction. David Mark faction. And, so it gets, and Nephew Bala faction. It gets even more interesting. What's your broad view on what's going on so far?
Thank you very much. So, of course, I've advocated that lawyers of the rank of senior advocate of Nigeria or professors, when they accept political appointments, they should ditch those titles for the period of their appointment because they're in politics. And the issue of this current INEC chairman has brought that to the fore. Because when you see the pronouncements he's making, you wonder whether this is supposed to be a senior advocate of Nigeria. He's making comments that are pedestrian, that are infantile, that are below par, that you wouldn't expect a first-year law student to make. The Court of Appeal in the ADC matter ruled that the status quo antebellum should be maintained. And what that means, basically, is that the state of affairs before litigation, before the war, should be maintained. You now ask yourself basic questions. Before this case was filed by this Nephew fellow, was there no leadership of the ADC? That is what the Court of Appeal asked the parties to maintain, to preserve the political party, to preserve the status, the issues. Now, a supposed senior advocate, a supposed professor of law with all his years of experience, comes out and signs blabbing absolute rubbish. That rather than the status quo, he wants to destroy the party, because what he now reeled out was that there was no ADC again, no leadership will be recognized. I mean, you begin to wonder what is really going on. But you don't wonder much once you understand the antics, the mindset.
You need 7 income streams to be a millionaire. Here's mine. Your 9 to 5 funds your survival. Your side hustle funds your
mindset of these characters. Because what is being perpetuated, what is being brought to the fore is all opposition parties, the major opposition parties are being destroyed, or the efforts are being made to destroy them. The APC, that is really all Progressive Congress, has done that with the Labour Party. They've splintered it. They've also tried to do that with the PDP. And they have now, to their shock, seen that people are amalgamating into the ADC, and they now focus on the ADC. So the issue has not been a matter of 2 or 3 or 5 factions, because at the end of the day, they will prop up to 1 million factions. But the people in ADC know who the ADC is. And all these splinter groups is just a manipulation of the INEC and the APC to try to scuttle the process of democracy. But what I would have expected the ADC to do is to report, to bring an action for contempt of court against the INEC chairman.
Well, David Mark led faction. David Mark himself, as
Yes.
the person, is suing INEC.
Yes.
You think that's going to be fruitful?
No, not even suing. I mean, just reporting back to the Court of Appeal that gave the order. I mean, the Court of Appeal, you gave an order that the status quo should be, anti-bellion should be maintained. Now, this fellow at INEC, the chairman of INEC, is now saying the ADC should be destroyed. I mean, that is what it's, because there is a time frame within which congresses should be held. If ADC cannot officially hold those congresses by that time, it can't produce candidates for the 2027 elections. So what the INEC chairman has done is to rubbish the Court of Appeal order. So the ADC should have gone back to the Court of Appeal. You gave an order, and this man has now gone beyond your order to destroy the party. Because if what INEC does, if it stands, and the period for having congresses lapses, and ADC is not able to have a congress, that means the ADC will not produce candidates for the election. And that is basically what this man is trying to do. That's why I said a character like the INEC chairman should have been stripped of his rank as a senior advocate of Nigeria until after when he leaves his political office. Because now, law students will be wondering, is this a son? Is this really a son? Because he has acted in a very vile manner that even brings the legal profession to disrepute.
All right, then.